Welcome, it's a great day at Palm Valley, and it's Father's Day, so happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. I'm Pastor Dave Koppel, and we're glad that you're here with us today. Please take a moment and fill out your connection card by scanning the QR code on your screen so we know that you're worshiping with us. Today, we're going to talk about how you are not invisible, but actually kind of a big deal. Our reading for today comes from Matthew chapter 10. Jesus said to the 12, "A disciple is not above the teacher, nor a slave above the master. It is enough for the disciple to be like the teacher and the slave like the master. If they have called the master of the house Beelzebul, how much more will they malign those of his household? So have no fear of them. For nothing is covered up that will not be uncovered, and nothing secret that will not become known. What I say to you in the dark, tell in the light, and what you hear whispered, proclaim from the housetops. Do not fear those who kill the body, but cannot kill the soul. Rather fear the one who can destroy both soul and body in hell. Are not 2 sparrows sold for a penny? Yet not one of them will fall to the ground apart from your Father. And even the hairs of your head are all counted. So do not be afraid. You are of more value than many sparrows. Everyone, therefore, who acknowledges me before others, I also will acknowledge before my Father in heaven. But whoever denies me before others, I also will deny before my Father in heaven. Do not think that I have come to bring peace to the earth. I have not come to bring peace, but a sword. For I have come to set a man against his father, and a daughter against her mother, and a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law, and one's foes will be members of one's own household. Whoever loves father or mother more than me is not worthy of me, and whoever loves son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me, and whoever does not take up the cross and follow me is not worthy of me. Those who find their life will lose it, and those who lose their life for my sake will find it." Have you ever felt unimportant? Have you ever felt irrelevant? Have you ever felt like you didn't matter at all? His name is Cliff. He's a high school student, socially withdrawn, and in fact, he seems to have no friends at all. On a cold February morning, he asks to get off the school bus, takes a couple of steps forward, then collapses in the snow and dies. The school principal has no idea who he is, so he puts Cliff's math teacher, whom Cliff had listed as his favorite teacher, in charge of notifying Cliff's parents and writing an obituary. His teacher, who didn't want the task, barely knew who Cliff was. Nevertheless, he goes to tell Cliff's mom and stepdad. While his mom grieves, his stepdad seems more concerned with getting breakfast than caring about whatever happened to Cliff. It turns out that Cliff had been a delightful, outgoing child. He had good grades, and he was doing well up until about 3rd grade when his parents divorced. If that wasn't bad enough, his new stepdad was abusive, at least emotionally, if not physically. Cliff slowly slid into depression. His life had imploded, his grades fell, and he was labeled by his teachers as slow. Not one person reached out to him to help. No other students, not a teacher, no one at all. Nobody seemed to notice Cliff. And over the next several years, Cliff began to live up to the labels that were thrust on him. Loner, loser, slow learner. And with no one offering support, it was easy to start to believe what people said about him, until he lost all hope on that cold February day and died. It's a sobering and powerful story that reminds us that every person is important and valuable. It reminds us that each one of us can reach out and make a difference. At the same time, just like Cliff, many of us, maybe all of us in this room, have at one time or another felt helpless, hopeless, and invisible. To be honest, I can identify with this story in that I attended 6 schools in different parts of the country by the time I hit 7th grade. I can still remember sitting at the lunch table in the cafeteria, hoping to make a friend, or hoping to find a place where people would welcome me to join them, or if I was sitting alone, hoping someone would come and join me. Breaking into a new community is hard at any age, at a new school, at a new job, or at a new location. I remember when I first went to work at Holden Village in a national forest in the Cascade Mountain Range near the middle of central Washington. I was the first new person in the village for about 9 or 10 months. It was a tight-knit community of about 60 people who had spent the year together, sometimes under as much as 12 feet of snow in the winter. Believe me, they had their friends, they had their routines, they didn't need anybody new. It was almost impossible to break into their social circles. I couldn't make a friend to save my life. I felt isolated. We've all been there. We've all felt that way at one time or another. I was feeling unimportant, not essential, not even close. I was invisible. Maybe you felt that way sometimes. The feeling of being irrelevant and unimportant comes around more often than we would like it to. About 12 years ago, I got hit by a truck. I ended up in a wheelchair for a while, and it's amazing how people look at you when you're in a wheelchair. Actually, sometimes they don't even look at you. Sometimes they look down on you. Sometimes they look right past you. And it leaves you feeling pretty unimportant and even invisible. Some of you know what I mean. But y'all know the feeling that I'm getting at? Sure you do, because we've all been kids. When you're a kid, a lot of times people ignore you and ignore what you have to say. Even if it's valid and important and insightful, they figure, you're just a kid. You don't know anything. But guess what? Even as adults, we all have some of those feelings left inside. Everybody has baggage, stuff that they don't feel good about. Everybody remembers what it feels like to be ignored, to be treated as invisible or unimportant, or the last one picked. Everybody feels inferior, inadequate, at least some of the time, or else they cover it up and pretend and bluster, maybe eventually drink their own Kool-Aid and fool themselves, burying their true feelings. But it's not like you grow up and you're automatically okay, perfect, mature, and completely confident about everything. We all remember what it's like to be put down, unimportant, invisible. Sometimes we can be lonely even in our own home. Word has it that Abe Lincoln would take long walks most every day around Washington because living with Mary Todd Lincoln was challenging at best. See, even a president can feel lonely and undervalued, unseen, even in his own home. It's like the song from Supertramp, Take the Long Way Home. There are times that you feel you're part of the scenery. All the greenery is coming down, boy. And then your wife seems to think you're part of the furniture. Oh, it's peculiar. She used to be so nice. You know what I'm talking about. But someone who cares, truly cares, can make all the difference in the world. When I started high school, it was 10th grade in those days, I was still a new kid in a new school. Not seen, not noticed, pretty nerdy. I was in the first computer programming class offered in our town. It was me as a sophomore, and the other 9 kids were seniors, small class, math geeks, and one huge guy. His name was Chuck. He played center on our football team. He was maybe the biggest guy in the school. Now, Chuck wasn't quite as fast at coding as I was, so I gave him a hand. It was fun for me to help him, and he was a decent sort of a guy. And without me ever finding out about it all year long, Chuck put the word out that I was his friend and anybody who messed with me would have to mess with him. I had a protector and I didn't even know it. But what I did know was this. All that year, he treated me as worthwhile, and that had an incredible impact on me. This popular football player talked to me like I was his equal. He respected my knowledge and skill. He heard me, he saw me, and that made all the difference in the world to a skinny, nerdy kid, 15 years old, who felt invisible. And that was super important to me because the very next year, Mom moved out and Dad told me that he didn't have a place for me. So suddenly I was on my own. Now, I'm not going to tell you that those years were easy. They were not by a long stretch. You see, having moved around a lot, I didn't have a lot of long-term friends to lean on. My source of stability had been my family, and now that was gone. But I was very fortunate because I had a church family, and that made a big difference. The people from my church who were aware of my situation stepped up, and my Sunday school teacher listened and gave hugs and heard me and saw me and let me know that not only did she love me, but God loved me as well. I've got to tell you, you are lucky if you have a person who cares. And often we don't see it. We don't realize it until later on. But God gives us people along the way to help us through those times and through those feelings. God gives us people. God puts people in our lives to walk with us and to remind us that we are not unimportant. That's God working behind the scenes. Somebody said that what we call a coincidence is just a time when God chooses to be anonymous. But no matter what you're going through, God is aware of it. He cares. He loves us. His heart breaks when we're hurting, and he gives us people to help us through. What did Jesus say? Are not 2 sparrows sold for a penny? Yet not one of them will fall to the ground apart from your Father. And even the hairs on your head are all counted. So do not be afraid. You are of more value than many sparrows. Every hair on your head is numbered. God knows everything about you, and he loves you. It doesn't matter if other people don't think you're important. God does. And when push comes to shove, he's the only one that matters. Now, at the same time, I can appreciate that some of you are feeling alone right now. You don't feel important. You don't feel loved. Maybe you don't feel worthy. Again, here's the truth. You don't have to prove yourself. You've already got God's love. You don't have to earn his love. It's free. It's real. It's the most real thing that you'll ever encounter. And it's forever. Look back to our second lesson. If we have been united with him in a death like his, we shall certainly be united with him in a resurrection like his. That's the truth. We have God's love. It's real. It's non-negotiable. It's solid and forever. Now today, on this Father's Day, I know some of us have had a great father that has reflected God's love and taught us about it. If we're lucky, we've had a great father like that who let us know that we're important and valuable and valued. Now, others of us have had a father that wasn't so great. Maybe our relationships with them have been strained over the years. But all of us have the greatest father in the world, God. And he loves us with all his heart. And he knows our failures and our frailties, and he still loves us. You don't have to earn it. You don't have to prove yourself. You just have to realize that you are not alone and that you are loved. No matter what you're going through, God walks right alongside you and will never leave you. If you're lucky, or if you open your eyes and notice, he'll give you a few people around you to remind you of that and to walk alongside you as well. That's forever. And there are people here who will walk alongside you and do life with you because that's part of what being part of the family of God is all about. Now, we all have our failings, and none of us are perfect, but God's love for us is. And God's love isn't just for everybody else. God's love is for you too. Never doubt that. God loves you every day, now and forever. Amen. Go in peace, serve the Lord. Thanks be to God. The peace of the Lord be with you always. Let's take a moment and share the peace with each other. Again, thanks so much for joining us today. A few things are coming up that you're going to want to know about. On June 23rd, a group called The Experience will be coming to Palm Valley to give a worship concert. It'll be a night of Christian music, devotions, and prayer, so we hope you'll join us. Then on June 26th, we have our next young adults event at Pins and Wheels at Playland. It's going to be great. There's going to be food, drinks, roller skating, arcade games, bowling, karaoke, even axe throwing. So let us know you're coming by emailing Jordana at youth@pvlc.org. And of course, on July 4th, Palm Valley will once again be a part of the Round Rock 4th of July Parade. And we need people to walk the parade route with us, so sign up on your Palm Valley app and join us. Again, thanks so much for joining us today. Remember, you can connect with us any day of the week on Facebook or on our website. You can also watch our live streams every Sunday morning. Thanks for joining us today, and we will see you next time.